All right, this is my battery bank system. All right, we got here six 12-volt batteries running in parallel. Okay, this show you the brand. Okay, these are Autocraft 140 reserve capacity. So basically, these are 85 amp hour batteries each. Okay. Anyways, this is my system right here. Little top view. As you can see there, right now, the solar panel is putting in 14.4, because it's really sunny out here in Puerto Rico, so we get really good sun. And that's my little little LED light. And that is a separate battery over there. That's just a regular car battery that I have hooked up to that 400-watt inverter. Okay, now what I did today is this 750-watt inverter came with some really thin cables. So I went out to Advanced Auto Parts and I got me some 4-gauge cable, and it was with alligator clips, so now it's got a secure connection. So look at how it looks. Really nice, really thick cable. you know. And the thing is that when I was running it, I was feeling those other cables kind of warm. So, that's why I did this. Let me give you another view of the system. You come over here this way. All right. Okay, that's my battery system. That's my 12. This is my 8-volt charger. All right, and it's my little projector. And so this is just a car battery. This is just separate. This is like a little backup system that I have. And this one right here, this is a little lawn and garden battery. I have these separate. It's at 13.5. And all that's doing is running this little fridge right here. It's actually on the grid power at the moment, but if the power goes out, this UPC, I'm using it as an inverter, and it kicks in and turns that little refrigerator on. So, but going back to what I've been talking about, this is the main system right here, and it's running off a 750 watt power inverter, and all these cables are running over here, extension cords, right? And it goes into my recording studio. Okay, so basically in a power outage situation, okay, all those cables, they come in here, and this is my recording studio right here. It's my little piano over there. But what happens is I got everything running in the studio wall socket. But if the power goes out, right? All I got to do is I got to pull this and I plug it into here, and this will give me the reading of how much wattage I'm using and amperage I'm using. And basically I run everything here in the studio. Everything. The only thing that I didn't connect to the system is the board. Not because it can't handle it, but the reality is in a power out situation, I'm really not gonna need to run a mixing board, so there's really no purpose in me hooking it up. But in terms of everything else, laptop, the PlayStation, the TV, the cameras, the other little TV that I have, these fans, lighting, etc., it works. Now the curious thing is putting these new cables on that inverter. Right now it's off, but on the kilowatt meter, it was reading before I upgraded these wires. Okay, it was reading at 2.3 amps, which in DC power would be about 23 amps. But then today, after I installed these cables on the inverter, I turned everything on. I'm talking literally everything in the studio, the fans and everything, and I was only at 1.87. You know what I mean? So it's dramatic. So when I did the calculations, with the other wires, I was getting up to 50% battery draw. I was getting about maybe 8 hours, 8.5 hours, up to 50%, just by changing these cables to 4 cable on the inverter. All of a sudden, the amp draw went down substantially. When I did the calculations, it brings me up to 10 something hours. So that goes to show you how much power was being lost just because of the cables. So I recommend, if you have a battery bank system, and make sure your cables are all the same length and same gauge. These are all 4 gauge cables that I got running. And so the only thing that the cable was smaller was on the inverter, which I upgraded today with these 4 gauge cables on the inverter. And let me tell you, man, a difference of 8 hours battery draw and 10 hours. That's a 2 hour difference. That's the equivalent of me adding an additional battery to my system. So it's amazing. You know what I mean? For the cost of 2 cables, I have I've got the amp hours of, as if I was having as if I added another battery. You know what I mean? So it's amazing. I mean, just the cables don't cost that much. I think I spend what, like $13 on the cables, 13, $14 at Advanced Auto Part. And and I mean, the difference the difference in power is amazing. So I was reading 2.3 amps, AC amps. I was, that was 2.3 AC amps um with the older cable. Let me show you them. Give me a second, don't go nowhere. These cables, and mind you, these are the cables that came with the inverter. I mean, look at these little flimsy things, and this is how it was connected. So now I got 4 gauge cable connected directly, and I'm telling you, it's not drawing as many amps. I have a save. It's amazing. I mean, you guys are probably thinking, "Oh God, why is he making such a big deal?" Well, I'm making such a big deal because it just shows you. I mean, I'm kind of new to this whole battery and wire gauge thing. So the jump, or actually decrease in amperage, running my entire studio off of batteries, you know, going from 23 amp draw down to an 18.7 amp draw. That's an additional 2 hours of service that I can get off of batteries just by changing the wires to the inverter, from the inverter to the batteries. Just getting better wire. It's just amazing. It's a great investment. Also, these cables, when I was running things, they started to feel warm. It didn't feel hot. It just felt warm. But I said to myself, well, I did a test, 3-4 hour test. Cables felt a little bit warm. I don't want to risk going all night and that catching on fire. So just being precautious here. So right now I'm waiting on a MPPT charge controller. I bought an EP Ever 30 amp charge controller, which should be arriving real soon this week, and I'm going to be installing that to get higher efficiency on my solar system. So I'm upgrading my power system, which is good. So but yeah, man, I just wanted to share that, guys. Just get yourself some better cables for your system, and it's a substantial it's a substantial improvement. So let me just show you one last time. That's my battery bank. Okay, that's at the present time, that's the PWM charge controller, which I'm getting rid of. Well, not really getting rid of, because I'm gonna leave it there, as I'm gonna use it as a just as a meter. But I'm gonna have right here, right on top of the 750 watt inverter, right there on the wall. That's where I'm gonna hang the MPPT charge controller. And I'm telling you, man, look at how the girth and how awesome those cables look connected, to my inverter. So what I did is, I just upgraded those cables, and this is the system, guys. This is the system. So if you want to build your little emergency system, this right here, this is kind of ghetto, but that's the kitchen, the studio, and the living room. So this, like Sala is living room, right there. You got the little light, turns on and off. You see? From the batteries, the same thing in the studio. See? If you look in the studio, I don't know, because it has the house light. And then the kitchen, I got the same setup going here, And the last part of the system, let me come over here this way. The last little part that I want to show you is right here on the side. I got another switch, and that is for outside. I don't know if you can see that there's my surveillance camera, one of them, and underneath, boom, lighting. That's that little switch right there. So in the middle, this is all battery powered. So I'm running off of that. It's that thing that's running off of this battery, And this little fan here is hooked up to here. So if you're sitting in the living room, sitting like right here on the dining room table, you press that little button, and you got the fan running. Over here you got the my NOAA radio in case of an emergency, the shit hits the fan. While I'm at it, I may as well show you the whole thing. All right, may as well. And I've done this tour before, but as I grow my system, if you come back here to the back part of the recording studio, here's all my gear, my emergency gear. Right here I got this set up with another battery. So boom, I turn this on, and there you go. I got lighting there. I plug this in right here. One hand. I'm getting good at this. All right, right there. Over there I got stocked up food in case the shit hits the fan. Right here, this is another charger, which this charger is to maintain this little battery. But right now, that little battery, if you look, it's at 12.37, and it's actually 12.7, but since I have lights on, that's why it's drawing power. But that little battery's working fine. And this is my kit. I have disposable barbecue. These are my chargers right here. These, I got 2 of these. But that's basically this same charger right there. So and this right here is a little power system for lighting. It gives you extra lighting. It got one. That's another light bulb that's hooked up there. All right. It's another light bulb. And there's actually 3. So that's one. Oh, okay, yeah, and the one up there, that's the other light bulb from that little system. So there's not going to be air right here on this end. I got my MREs. So if I turn on this system, you can see I got stocked up military food. These are all MREs. These are, ramen noodles for emergency stuff. So I got that running. And right here, this is another power system that I invented. Okay, this is used like to run little stuff, little light bulb. It's got a little Bluetooth speaker, a little inverter. I got it hooked up to this switch, and it's really simple, but it's kind of like a portable power system. And inside, I have a drone battery running it. Right now, if you plug it in, you're talking this has and this is the charger. You plug it in. But this, in case of an emergency, you got a little backup system, to charge phones. It has USB. Right there, it has USB plus, you can plug it in. It looks kind of weird, but what to do is just turn that switch on, and you got power, baby. So that's my system. Let me disconnect this. Let me turn this off. All right, so that's my little power system. And here, back in the studio. And last but not least, okay, to finish off my little tour, right? um, right here is those are my generators, right? I got the generators, I got all my oils, you see? And right here, these switches, there's actually somebody in the bathroom, but this right here is lighting, and this one is actually a portable shower. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, in the shit hits the fan scenario, you know, got a portable shower, and this is the one that everybody gets a kick out of. All right, this entire room has about 1,500 bottles of water that I've saved up. You see that I've stocked up. This is just an empty room, but as you can see, that's all fresh water. So if the shit hits the fan, I got clean water, I got power. You see that? Power, boom. I got an emergency lighting thing right there. You press that little button, and you got a little light up there. You know, I don't use this room. This room is just like for storage. But you know, you got fresh water going on. You know, oh God, I can't even open this door. The bottles are in the way. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much my whole system. You know, and so let me give you once again a little shot before I leave. So okay, so there it is. There it is. That's my pride and joy. You know, right there. Right there. That's my little system. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little tour. Take care. God bless. And if there's anything you want to know, want to know what cables I'm using or whatever, just write in the comments and I will answer you and provide you with links to all the gadgets I got running over here. So, peace. Take care, guys.